welcome MV Brain Quivers to Coach Ackerman's press conference. We'll start with the team announcement for tomorrow night's match against Cardiff. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks. Okay, to announce the Vodacom Bulls side against Cardiff: number 1, Gerard Steenenkamp; 2, Johan Grobbelaar; 3, Francois Klopper; 4, Kobus Wiese; 5, Rohan Nortje; 6, Marcel Coetzee and captain; 7, Eldrich Lou; 8, Nizam Kar; 9, Ambrose Papier; 10, Andre Pollard; 11, Kurtley Arendse; 12, Stedman Gans; 13, Kainan Moody; 14, Cheswell Jooste; 15, David Kriel; 16, Marco van Staden; 17, Jan-Hendrik Wessels; 18, Kuta Muchunu; 19, Rohan Vermaak; 20, Cameron Hannekom; 21, John Ray Rudolph; 22, Paul de Wet; and 23, Willie Leroux.
Questions? Bren.
The obvious one, Cameron back, happy. You guys are confident he's fine now to take that first step back into the field?
Yeah, no, obviously great news, Brendan, to have Cameron back. I mean, obviously it was a tough time for him, to see the boys play, and he's not playing, so he's really excited to play, and we're confident. We did a lot of things now to prepare him, and I'm sure he's fully fit. He's done all the off-field stuff like testing and everything we could to make sure he's 100%, and he's looking well in training. So
obviously with him the expectation is going to be high, so to temper that expectation, I think you just want to see him get through the game and make a contribution.
Yeah, the biggest thing, obviously there's always a bit of almost a nervousness if you come back from an injury. How sharp are you and how good will you play? But ultimately, any player who's played at a high level before, has got the talent, and he must just enjoy himself. I think that will be the main message. Go out and express yourself. Don't be, afraid of the level that you play or the mistakes you're going to make. Just play.
Just some of your other changes, Stedman, obviously you wanted to keep Kainan at 13 and not disrupt the backline too much. Cheswell's obviously back. If I remember, I'm just from where listening to you now, no Wilco there as well. Kobus Wiese coming at lock. Just maybe talk us through some of those changes.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we felt it's a short turnaround. So if we can freshen up a few players, bring a bit of new energy that the team need, we will do that. So that's the one thing that we felt, especially if you look at the locks. Rohan Vermaak has played a fair share start, and Kobus came off the bench. Now it's the other way around. Wilco just had some things a person need to look after, but so that's the change there at prop, and give Francois and Kuta a bit of opportunity to see what they can do. And then obviously at the back, Stedman has trained really well, and he was unlucky after the Lions game. He and Harold was very good together, and then Kainan came back, and he kept training well. So we just felt that he deserves to play in that position, and then if Kainan has to go to wing, then he can go to 13 and David can go to 12. So just go for what he's covering as well. It was important to have him there, and obviously Ambrose is back after his newborn baby has been born, and good to have him back. So a lot of those changes is obviously to get the team firing on Friday.
Just one of the changes you haven't mentioned, it's not changed. Nizam at 8 and Jean-Dre on the bench. Is that more because the impact Jean-Dre brings? Or?
Yeah, it's that's the one thing. The other thing is it depends on how the game go. We want to replace certain players at a certain time, and like you said, Jean-Dre covers 8 and 6 for us, and Nizam covers 8 and 7 for us. So there's a bit of, and then we know Cammy is going to come on, and we want Cammy to focus just on 8. So if he comes on, he's just going to focus on 8. First game back, we don't want him to think a lot of things. So he's going to just come as an 8. So we also can't play Cammy more than a certain amount of time. So that's why Jean-Dre will go on first if we need to replace somebody early. And then we got the option of Marco still, if we need to, but then we will hopefully at the right time let him out of the gates.
Sim.
I guess just to go back to Cameron, he's a pretty intense guy, especially with his rugby. His dad is telling me some of it sounds incredibly ludicrous, like just how
Yeah.
badly intense he is. He must be a terrible patient.
Yeah, no, I think it cost him a little bit. He sometimes did a bit more than he's supposed to do, and then didn't help his rehab, to be fair, but I think it's a good lesson for him, if any time in the future, to look after yourself and trust the people that give you the advice. But the one thing I can say, and as a player, I haven't worked with him more than those last few weeks that he was on the field. This will be the first game live that I see him play as a coach. But the one thing I know, he was here in the mornings, 4:30, 5 o'clock already, working on his body and work on his conditioning, where he can do conditioning. So he's dedicated, so that's great for a player. Hopefully he'll bear the fruit come start tomorrow with his return. But that's why he's an intense guy, but it's because he wants to be successful in what he's doing. So that's great to have that character.
And then a guy like Stefan Gans, obviously as an ex-Blitzbok, I think if you're an ex-Blitzbok, you tend to be seen as an outside back as opposed to an inside back.
Yeah.
Putting him at 12, what's the thinking there? Because he doesn't come across as a typical sort of...
Yeah, it is a bit of a new position for him, I suppose, for us, because we trained him always 13. But if you look at the way he trains, the way he carries, the way how direct he and Harold was in the games that they played, we're comfortable that he can do the job. He's physical. He's sometimes you play at 12. And because he's not the size of Andre Esterhuizen, you think he can't do the job. But there's a lot of good 12s that use a different skill set to get over the advantage line, and that's what we feel Steedman will bring. But then again, because of the speed that he's got and some other attributes, he can play a different role as well outside of just carrying the ball. So work rate is obviously one thing that is important, and he's got a lot of that. So hopefully the other strengths will come that he's possessed when he plays 13 will come through when he plays 12 as well.
Evia.
I'm just again on Cameron, just an approach question. Dion Fourie was started and then taken off after 30 minutes or so because they knew he wasn't going to last. Why would you want to put Cameron on the bench? What's your approach there?
I think if we're going to have a impact from the bench, ideally we want to do it. If in the perfect world we want to bring 3-4 players on at once, and Cameron, the lack of contact we feel will put even more pressure on him in the start of the game. So now, everybody is fresh and he doesn't get the opportunities he will get in the second half when there's a bit more tired bodies on the field. And we want to play according to his strengths, easing him back into the game. So, I mean, it can easily go the other way around, but then you take a guy off at 30 minutes we are fortunate 6-2, but if you're 5-3 and you take a guy off early and you get another knock, you put yourself at risk. So it's how you want to take the gamble, and we just feel putting on a Cameron with a Jandre, with a Ruan Vermaak, with a Jan Hendrik at one shot will bring a massive impact. So hopefully, we will get the plan will work.
Just on the captaincy, I missed it in the mad scramble to write it down. So who's the captain?
Marcel.
What's the situation with the club captain being Ruan and Marcel being the captain on the field? Who's the captain?
Yeah, so I mean, I include a lot both of them. If I have to make decisions around off the field decisions, and obviously include those two specifically, and then some of the other leaders. So what happened is, while Ruan was gone, Marcel, we felt, did a really good job, and then on tour I had a discussion with both of them. I said, listen, we can either go back to Ruan captaining or Marcel keep on captaining while it's going well. And then if we start rotating and Marcel is not on the field, then obviously the mantle will fall on Ruan. And they're so good friends and they support each other so well that, Ruan was comfortable that Marcel must just keep on going with the captaincy while he's playing. And then we stuck to it, So there's nothing, I can change it next week and it won't even bother. So both of them are very comfortable. That both of them speak when they need to speak in meetings and on the field. And it's a good situation to be in, to have two guys supporting each other.
And just lastly, those two injuries, Sebastian de Klerk and Harold Foster, what's the latest?
So Harold has tested well. He failed obviously his test now early in the week, so that automatically cancelled him for tomorrow. But then his second and third test that you do to see if you can progress gone very well, no symptoms. So he'll definitely be ready next week. Sebastian unfortunately has to get an operation, so he's going to be out for a long time.
Just sorry, guy. So you're not automatically out because you failed in the game.
No.
There's another test that decides whether you're out or not.
Yeah, so the concussion is quite complex. There's a certain criteria how you get removed off the field and what state you're in, and there's sometimes you can be automatically. There's certain concussions that they say that's it. Don't even bother about. You won't play next week. It's a compulsory 12 days. Most are compulsory 12 days, but there's some guys that may test well, even though they failed the test straight off the game. And then if there's a long enough turnaround, like say we played only on Saturday, that extra day, funny enough, can make that the guy can pass his test and can return. But because he still failed the test on Monday, the turnaround was too short. But then from Tuesday, his testing started really go well, and he's basically back to all his markers from yesterday, so he's good.
Because net Sebastian se voet, nee.
Ja.
Voetoperasie.
Yeah, so Les Frank injury, if I've got the name correct, and that means it's fix it surgically, and it's I don't want to speculate, but it is a 5 to 6 months recovery time, and then they have to remove stuff, and then it's another period out. To my understanding, that's how they fix it. So we'll only see him at the end of the year, probably somewhere. But obviously he's a man of faith, and let's hope everything goes well and we see him back on the field sooner.
Ja, Spakkers?
Sorry, I was just going to say just so disappointing for it. So in the alignment terms of the box.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously there's no words that can comfort him, but we, obviously send him a message, and, he's disappointed for various reasons. For one, that he can't play, but two, that, he had a first taste of the Springbok environment, although it was only an alignment camp, not on the field. And I know the Springboks coaches speak very highly of him, so that's a disappointment. And there's it's something you always haven't got the answers, but luckily his cell group and everybody will be there to support him and pray for him, and that's all we can trust, is that there's a purpose and that he will come back stronger, and there's still enough time for him to come back, play well, and who knows, he can still go to the World Cup, so nothing is impossible. So but at the moment he just needs the support of everybody.
Spakkers, na so 'n reeks Suid-Afrikaanse derbies, wat is die grootste aanpassing wat ou moet maak om dan teen 'n oorsese span te speel, en wat verwag julle?
Ja. Ja, die Kobus, eerste ding is ons moet weer terugkom waar ons was met ons akkuraatheid en ons ingesteldheid. Ons is onsself erg teleurgesteld Saterdag. Ons het geweet die Stormers is desperaat, en ons moes dit gematch het, en ons het nie. En krediet aan die Stormers, jy weet hoe hulle self opgekry het. Obviously na die tyd met hulle coaches gepraat, en hulle het geweet as hulle nie op hulle beste is nie, gaan hulle verloor, maar hulle was desperaat, en En ons is nou in so 'n situasie, jy weet, ons was in elk geval so, dit was die teleurstelling, maar ons moet net terugkom waar ons kan wees en hoe ons wil speel en ons het elke speler nodig om op sy beste te wees, jy weet, ons het paar onnodige foute gemaak op kritieke tye, Saterdag. So om te kyk na Cardiff, jy weet, Cardiff het een van hulle beste seisoene, hulle speel goeie rugby, as jy hulle analiseer, is daar min swakhede in hulle, goeie setpiece, skop die meeste van al die spanne in die kompetisie, so hulle wil nie rugby speel in 'n halfte nie, hulle skop, en dan wag hulle laat jy 'n fout maak, so ons gaan akkuraat moet daar wees, die Stormers het eintlik maar dieselfde gedoen, baie geskop, en ons het nie dit goed hanteer nie, So daar's 'n groot uitdaging vir ons daar, en hulle speel 'n goeie, wanneer hulle die bal kry op die regte area, speel hulle baie amper, weet, met Cornel daar, baie cheetah rugby, baie speel die bal, goeie beweging van die bal. So hulle gaan ons toets, so hulle is 'n baie beter span as jy weet, as ek wil amper sê wat die mense dink, hulle is 'n goeie span en hulle is defensively baie sterk, so dis 'n groot uitdaging vir ons, weet, en ons speel tuis en ons het baie om voor te speel, so hopelik sal ons die teleurstelling van Saterdag positief gebruik, jy weet, en dit op die veld wys môre.
Sorry, jy het genoem ingesteldheid. Wat bedoel jy met ingesteldheid?
Ek dink net, ons was nie so skerp, soos weet, elke ou het op sy eie manier probeer, kom ons vat die mall defense, ons het 'n sisteem en ten minste 2-3 ouens het uit die sisteem uitgegaan, jy weet, so dit sê vir my, op daai oomblik het jy gedink jy moet dit regmaak, jy weet, en nie die sisteem vertrou nie en nie die plan vertrou nie, en miskien is dit druk, want toe is die Stormers al voor op die telbord en dan dink jy moet nou iets doen om die energie op te tel, en baie keer kom dit maar by jou ingesteldheid, jy weet, jy kan nie goed van selfsprekend aanvaar nie, jy kan nie, omdat ons die Leeu's goed gespeel het en die Mols gestop het en die Sharks goed gespeel het en hulle het miskien die WP of die Stormers gewen, nou dink dit gaan net weer gebeur nie. Jy moet ongelukkig professionele sport, jy weet, jy moet elke week moet jy reset en weer van voor af begin. Dis maar, kyk maar met enige sport, jy weet, die ou wat nommer 1 is, daag hy net op en wen die toernooi nie, hy moet heeltyd ingesteldheid hê van honger wees en speel.
Jy het gesê, die Stormers het baie geskop en Cardiff van ook baie geskop, en ons het gehoor, die Stormers het laasweek langs die oefenveld skoppe geoefen, dat die beetjies bewe blykbaar. En toe jy nou agterkom op die veld, wat nou aan die gang is, hoe moet julle gesukkel, hoe moet die bulle gesukkel om aan te pas, as ek dit so kan stel?
Ja, kyk, het was nie 'n kwessie van aanpas nie, het was maar net soos wat ons die lig gedomineer het. Ek praat van die balspat los en dan tel Kobus hom op, want hy's net op die regte plek en sy reaksies is reg. Ons het net daai scraps battle verloor, jy weet. En dit is 'n ding, jy weet, dis 'n ding wat jy moet aan hard werk, jy weet, elke week, want elke week kom dit en dit met obviously ideaal wen jy die bal in die lug. As jy nie die bal in die lug wen nie en iemand klap hom, dan dan moet jy reageer, en ons was net nie so skerp as ons was in die wedstryde voor dit nie, en dit is natuurlik iets wat ons aan hard gewerk het nou die week. Nou kom ons kyk maar hoe lyk dit môre, jy weet, so en jy weet, dit is die frustrerende ding, die spelers, ons weet hulle kan dit doen, ons weet wat se vermoë ons in die span het, en ons moet net dit doen, jy weet, so dit is hoekom hopelik, soos jy môre aand sal dit goed beter gaan.
Ren, you're going to wrap it up for us.
Yeah. Just two quick ones. Akas, just you talk about scoreboard pressure. The Stormers did it very well, but the counter to that is that you guys did have opportunities. You did kick to the corner, and I know you're a team that wants to score tries. But now that the pressure's a bit more on, is that going to be a bit more of a conversation on the field between the players?
Yeah, you know what, Brennan, it's a tough one. We even saw, you know, sometimes the Six Nations now, the guys go to the corner and back their maul or back their face play, keeping the ball to score a try, you know. I feel that's where you have to feel either, you know, like limited possession, and you get the opportunity to get in, you get the penalty, take the points and go back and start again, or if you maybe feel that you haven't got really the ascendancy, it's still an arm wrestle, you know. But if the only people that know that is sometimes the players on the field. So they had the scrum or they had a line out, and they now know where the pressure and are the team contesting well, are they not contesting well, are they stopping mauls well. We obviously had a plan in place, and eventually we got a penalty try, and it worked for us, but we missed opportunities in that first half. And again, it brings me back to, you know, to we must look at ourselves first, you know, fix that part first, and then we won't question the decision to kick to the corner, and it was in our control. Even though we didn't maul that first one or two that we kicked to the corner, we had opportunity to play, and then we make silly knocks on the floor. So, you know, so that there will always be I want to say a discussion afterwards, should you have taken the 3, but if you convert those opportunities, you obviously, you know, get 7 points. But in the situation we're now in now, you know, obviously you rely on your captain and your goal kicker to say, where's the penalty and how do we feel about, you know, go 3 points up or 6 points up or whatever. But it's like Neil showed the guys a clip where there was an opportunity to run from a penalty, and they were in so much trouble, the Stormers, but because we stuck to our old ways, kicked to the side, we missed the opportunity. That we tapped there and we scored a try, people would have said it's the try of the season, but we didn't. We missed the opportunity. And it wasn't just a small one, it was a massive opportunity. They walked back to the touchline. They expect us to kick, and they had only 4 guys standing in front of a whole team of 15, but we missed the opportunity. You know, so that's why I say, so rugby is, it's nice to look afterwards and say, oh, you should have taken the 3. But then again, you should have scored a try as well, and you didn't.
My last one is just to find out just an update on Akker, Stravina, and Cricket, who else is also on the injured list. Those guys more or less.
Well, we all know about Sebastian now, and then Stravina is still out for a fair bit of time. He'll be only back in May if we play that last games. Yeah, he tore a finger ligament, and that has had to be attached. So he's in a brace. And then Akker is obviously also 3 months out with his neck, and he's now only on 3 or 4 weeks, so he's still got a fair bit of time to go. So if we progress in the competition, we may see them at the back end of the last games or the playoffs, but other than that, they out.
Is anyone else got missed? Sorry,
I don't think. I think that's the main ones. Jaco Grobler, we all know he's out with crucial ligaments, the lock, but I think that's the three senior guys.
Exactly. In the scramble for playoff spots, how high are you guys hoping to get in terms of the table? And then secondly, what do you think you need to get there?
Yes, we haven't really worked out, you know, if you win every game and you get a bonus point where we can finish. We just obviously want to get in that playoff sim. So to be honest, I think the fact that we lost the Stormers on the weekend, you know, we haven't got the luxury to think where we're going to finish. We must just make sure we're in that top 8. But I think it's given that we're going to play away. I think I doubt if we can make close to that 3rd spot. So yeah, so we got 6 games left in the URC, and we must make it the best possible 6 games to give ourselves a chance. And you know, I said to the players this morning, we can't control the future, we can't turn the past back, but we can only control tomorrow. And let's make sure we arrive here tomorrow 7 o'clock ready to put in a good performance. So if we get over that hurdle, we go forward from there. But yeah, I don't know where we're going to finish. What I do believe is it doesn't matter where we finish, we can beat any side on our best, and that's the chance we want to give ourselves.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, guys.
Dankie man.